ìṣítí kájọgbọ́. Ètò àsìkò tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n rèé kájọgbọ́. Lórí My Sweet FM 97.5 kájọgbọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí dé kọbítíkọbìtì kọ́kọ́ ètò kan tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n tọ́ni sọ́nà dánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń dáni lárayá pẹ̀lú àṣà ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye tó ga jù. Ètò alára àgbàyídá tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá lárugẹ ní gbogbo ìgbà. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí pẹ̀lú ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín asọ̀rọ̀gbayì ọmọlójú Olódùmarè tí ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ láí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday ọjọ́ Ajé ní aago 2 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo olùgbé United Kingdom, aago 3 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo àwọn olùgbé Nàìjíríà lórí ìkànnì yín My Sweet FM 97.5. ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ sodo sínú rẹ̀ láti tọ́ wa sọ́nà àti fúnni ní ìmọ̀ràn àti láti gbé àṣà wa lárugẹ síwájú sí i. Ẹ lè gba application My Sweet FM sórí Android àti Apple phone sí yín tàbí kí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa bí a ṣe ń ṣètò lọ́wọ́ lórí Facebook, YouTube àti Instagram tàbí kí ẹ pè wá sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí +44 744 0721 923 tẹ̀ sójú ẹ̀. Filẹ̀ má yí kúrò ọmọ lójú Olódùmarè máa bá ètò ìsọ nílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí. Ètò yẹn tún ti dé nílẹ̀ lóko kájọgbọ́n takọtabo ó ti yá ọmọdé pẹ̀lú àgbà ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí máa tún lè yí o kájọgbọ́n. Pẹ̀lú ọmọ lójú Olódùmarè kájọgbọ́n. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí kájọgbọ́. Ètò àsìkò tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n rèé kájọgbọ́. Lórí My Sweet FM 97.5 kájọgbọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí dé kọbítíkọbìtì kọ́kọ́ ètò kan tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n tọ́ni sọ́nà dánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń dáni lárayá pẹ̀lú àṣà ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye tó ga jù. Ètò alára àgbàyídá tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá lárugẹ ní gbogbo ìgbà. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí pẹ̀lú ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín asọ̀rọ̀gbayì ọmọlójú Olódùmarè tí ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ láí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday ọjọ́ Ajé ní aago 2 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo olùgbé United Kingdom, aago 3 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo àwọn olùgbé Nàìjíríà lórí ìkànnì yín My Sweet FM 97.5. ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ sodo sínú rẹ̀ láti tọ́ wa sọ́nà àti fúnni ní ìmọ̀ràn àti láti gbé àṣà wa lárugẹ síwájú sí i. Ẹ lè gba application My Sweet FM sórí Android àti Apple phone sí yín tàbí kí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa bí a ṣe ń ṣètò lọ́wọ́ lórí Facebook, YouTube àti Instagram tàbí kí ẹ pè wá sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí +44 744 0721 923 tẹ̀ sójú ẹ̀. Filẹ̀ má yí kúrò ọmọ lójú Olódùmarè máa bá ètò ìsọ nílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí. tí irun bá kún lórí gẹ́rígẹ́rí là ń pè ẹni tó mojú ògún ló ń pa bìnírè tó bá jẹ́ ti kábániṣe ètò ìnáwó lọ́nà tó bá òde ìwòyí mu kí wẹ̀jẹ̀wẹ̀mú lọ nírọwọ́rọsẹ̀ ìyẹn event planner kábánidarí ayẹyẹ dẹ́rẹ́ pòṣónú múnú ẹni dùn ìyẹn MC ká ṣètò sọ̀rọ̀ polówó ọjà lórí ẹ̀rọ agbágbé kárí ayé international broadcasting ká gbé olórin àti òǹṣèré lárugẹ fún ìpolówó kárí ayé music and films promoter ó yá ọmọlójú production international limited ní ẹjẹ́ á lọ OPIL kò sí màgòmágó lọ́wọ́ tiwọn ẹ̀yin náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn lónìí ó dájú pé ẹ ò ní kábàámọ̀ láíláí fábàdà ẹ kàn sí wa lórí Facebook, YouTube, Instagram @ọmọlójú olódùmarè tàbí kí ẹ pè international number wa +44 744 0721 923 tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà nọ́mbà wa nìyí 08069131555 ọmọlójú production international limited OPIL ilé-iṣẹ́ tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ètò yẹn tún ti dé ilé lóko kájọgbọ́n takọtabo ó ti yá ọmọdé pẹ̀lú àgbà ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí máa tún lè yí o kájọgbọ́n pẹ̀lú ọmọ lójú olódùmarè kájọgbọ́n
ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí
kájọgbọ́.
ètò àsìkò tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n rèé
kájọgbọ́.
lórí My Sweet FM 97.5
kájọgbọ́.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí dé kọbítíkọbìtì kọ́kọ́ ètò kan tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n tọ́ni sọ́nà dánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń dáni lárayá pẹ̀lú àṣà ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye tó ga jù ètò alára àgbàyídá tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá lárugẹ ní gbogbo ìgbà ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí pẹ̀lú ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín asọ̀rọ̀gbayì ọmọlójú Olódùmarè tí ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ láí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday ọjọ́ Ajé ní aago 2 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo olùgbé United Kingdom aago 3 ọ̀sán fún gbogbo àwọn olùgbé Nàìjíríà lórí ìkànnì yín My Sweet FM 97.5 ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ sodo sínú rẹ̀ láti tọ́ wa sọ́nà àti fún.
Nollypic presents AY Live in London 2017 at the Lighthouse, 254 to 270 Camberwell Road, London SE50DP. Time, red carpet 6 p.m. Showcase starts at 7 p.m. Comedians on the night: AY, I Go Die, Clint the Drunk, Kenny Black, Apororo, Mr. C, Osama, Just Too Funny, and many more. DJs are DJ Mind the Gap performing a live video mix and DJ Osa Jats. For more information about tickets, visit peaktickets.com or call 07813 455 579 or 07794 28805.
Good afternoon, welcome to Well Chat UK on My Sweet FM Community Radio. Welcome to our online listeners and those on our app. To advertise, call 0203 519 6900 or email info@mysweetfm.com. This afternoon's topic is all things unlicensed versus licensed. Definition: licensed, Cambridge Dictionary. Permission to make, permission to produce, permission to use. Unlicensed boxing. Muscletalk.co.uk asks the question, what's the score with unlicensed boxing? I understand how it all works and everything, but is it that untamed that being in the crowd is like taking your own life? Reason I ask is I've been invited along, VIP, to watch and check it out. So unlicensed boxing. Comment: been to watch a few unlicensed events at the Circus Tavern in Essex. Was run by the IBO. Was still a very professional event. Just means that the fighters are not licensed by any of the bigger bodies. So unlicensed boxing means that the well-known associations have not licensed it. Okay, another comment. I fought, so this is the person who took part, I fought on an unlicensed show in Weston's Supermare last year. Best show I've ever seen out of AM pro venues. The main bulk of competitors are either too old for amateur or don't cut the grade as pros. So they're not professional boxers, and they can't be classed as amateur boxers, so they're in this unlicensed area. Another comment was only been to one unlicensed boxing event. It was down in Swanley in Kent. It was by travellers. So when we say travellers, we generally mean Irish travellers. They're originally from Ireland, but they go from different places in Britain, but they're originally from Ireland. So it says it was run by travellers. I quite enjoyed it. It was outside during the summer, but you'd have to worry about someone if they got badly injured. There weren't any medical facilities because it's unlicensed. It's not like the ambulance people are going to be there or anything. Okay, there weren't any medical facilities or staff on hand that I could see. They're not all run like this, but I'd find out as much about the one you've been asked to fight in before taking part. Okay, so there are some rules. Your health is the most valuable thing you possess. Another comment about unlicensed boxing. I used to do security there a couple of years ago. All the boxing dues. The promoter's son is a friend of mine, so he's talking about a particular one. I worked at about 50 of them and only had one bit of trouble, and that was two brothers having a scrap. They are a good night, and some of the fighters are pretty good. If you think the boxing is going to be world class, I wouldn't bother. But if you just enjoy watching boxing in general, they are definitely worth going to. Now, the Daily Mail, the 10th of October 2017, a novice boxer, so he's not a pro boxer, a novice boxer who died after being knocked unconscious in his first public fight, did not stand a chance due to a lack of medical provision. His sister told an inquest today, so on the 10th of October this was reported in the Daily Mail. His name was Jacob Moschik, 22, known to his friends and family as Cuba, was rendered unconscious by a punch to the head during the third round of the bout in Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. So his twin sister told an inquest that there was panic as he lay unconscious and convulsing on the canvas at the Atlantis Tower Arena, November 19, last year, 2016. No doctors, no ambulances for over an hour. She'd written a statement which was read to the Norfolk Coroner's Court in Great Yarmouth. No stretchers. Nobody was prepared for this. It was a total nightmare. Nobody seemed to be in charge or responsible. He didn't recover. He wasn't given any chance. This was her statement. Now, he was taken to the hospital where he died of his injuries 2 days later. Now, the senior coroner for Norfolk said the opponent, who is now 18, he was actually 17 at the time, can be named in reports of the inquest. In a written statement, that person, the 17-year-old who was involved last year, is now 18, said he was a student and had medical checks before the fight. In the second round, I couldn't breathe properly, he said. So there's no medical care, there's not stringent medical checks, and it's unlicensed, so it's unlikely that St. John's ambulance, etc., would be present. It's highly unlikely. Now, BBC One on the 24th of June 2014 reported the death of a man following a boxing match at a nightclub in Nottingham has shone a light on the world of so-called white-collar boxing. Okay, so when we've got things that are sports and they're out of the norm and they're out of certain associations that we associate with that sport, they're called white-collar. There we go, white-collar boxing. What is white-collar boxing? And is it more dangerous than any other form? So this is a BBC One report back in 2014. Many people associate this form of boxing with frustrated city boys, or perhaps the 1999 film Fight Club that was starring Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. But BBC Sport reporter who has looked into the world of white-collar boxing says the use of the term has widened in recent years. So it started in Wall Street in the 90s when city boys were training in quite famous amateur boxing gyms and basically decided, let's have a fight as well. So there was some training going on in general, but then they took it to the next level and said, let's start this amateur boxing thing. Then it went to the city in London. Okay, so we're talking back in the 90s, 1990s, and is now pretty much gone to every financial center around the world. It's very big in places like Singapore, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. Unlicensed drivers versus disqualified drivers. So this word unlicensed just means the main body that protects participants in this sport hasn't recognized or won't qualify that sport to be registered with them. So unlicensed drivers versus disqualified drivers. What's the difference? So there's a website called nopenaltypoints.co.uk. Many people are under the impression that driving without a full license would carry the same penalties as driving while disqualified. So if you don't have a full license, you have a provisional. If you are disqualified, you had a license and it's been stopped for some time, so you're not allowed to drive using it. Right, they're separate offences. 800,000 drivers. 800,000 drivers, nearly 1 million drivers in the UK are unlicensed. That's according to an AA survey. So there's 1,000 cars on the road with people that don't have a license. Wow. Right. If they're caught, they'll be convicted and they will get penalty points. But they're unlicensed. Okay, there you go. Right, unlicensed drivers in the UK. 1 out of every 40 drivers on UK roads is unlicensed. This is a survey done by the AA. It includes drivers who have been disqualified. So they had a license, they did something, the license was stopped. Yeah? So 1 in 40 drivers. So every 40 cars, yeah, in a traffic, 1 of them is not supposed to be on the road behind that vehicle. All right. What's the issue with unlicensed drivers? Many of them are ashamed, check this, are ashamed to admit that they've failed the driving test. And that's why they're driving. That's it. That's it. That's it. And they're driving. Right. What about provisional license holders? Okay, this is a different group. They cannot, drivers cannot learn to drive in the UK without a provisional driving license. So if you're taking any lessons, make sure you've got a provisional driving license that allows you behind the wheel of a car when the engine is on and the car is in motion. That's a provisional. And what is it for? Learner drivers. Now they can drive a vehicle, but they have to have someone in the passenger seat, not behind a passenger on a taxi, no, in the passenger seat at the front, who has a full license. So a full license, they must be over 21, okay, and they have to have had their full license for at least 3 years. So full license, over 21, 3 years driving experience, can sit beside somebody with a provisional license, and the one with a provisional license can drive the vehicle. They must display, you know, the stickers L on them, L plates. They must display that. So if you're pulled over and you have a provisional license and you have the L plates on the front and the back, whatever, in the back window, you have L plates. You have your provisional that's not expired or whatever, I don't know what the date is. You have an adult over 21 with a full license. They can't have a provisional either. Full license and 3 years minimum driving experience, then you're fine to drive. What about those driving without a full license? What's the consequences? A fine of up to £1,000, 3 to 6 penalty points. So let's say you ain't got a license. When you get the license, guess what? You got 6 penalty points. Okay? You can be banned from attaining a full license. It depends what the situation is. Okay? And the fines can be up to 5,000 as well. Telegraph.co.uk, 26th of May 2016. Nearly 70,000, nearly 70,000 potentially dangerous unlicensed drivers have been given pointless penalty points. So the real figure is 69,353. It's almost 70,000, okay? They have penalty points, but they have no license. How's that work out? You got no license, but you've got penalty points. Strange, okay. And then there's loads of fines that they've had. So we're talking about unlicensed activities. So we spoke about unlicensed drivers. What What about unlicensed minicab drivers? Now, I don't know if you've been following the news. Sorry, Uber, but it's you. Unlicensed minicab drivers. Transportforlondon.gov.uk. They're going to tell us what they're doing. They're working closely with the taxi and private hire trade. So, you know the black cabs, black taxis, and the private hire trade, they're working closely with them. They're working closely with the MPs and the City of London Police. Okay, so Transport for London, that's responsible for traffic, getting traffic moving in London, have said we're working closely. We've got 68 dedicated police cab enforcement officers, and they are increasing the number of Transport for London compliance officers, so 332. Right, so let's have a look what happened. Get West London is, I was on their website, and the 18th of August this year, an Uber driver. Okay, there's a lot going on with Uber. License for London, some of their cabbies are not being checked properly with DBS. Some of the cabbies shouldn't be driving, whatever. There's a lot going on with Uber. Okay, so we're dealing with Uber right now. It's 18th of August 2017. An Uber driver from Southall has been convicted of illegally plying for hire. Okay, so what is it? The black cabs, black taxis, cabbies, they can drive up and down and pick anyone they like. Pick up, because they've done the knowledge. The others are called private hire trade. So if there's word hire, it means I called you. It means there's an appointment. It means the passenger has called and you are coming to pick the passenger. That's the only way you're allowed to have anybody in your car paying you money. Private hire. Okay, so what did this guy do? Southall. He was being hired rather, without the right protocol. Poor thing. Unwittingly, so unknowingly, he picked up 2 council licensing officers. Oops. It was unbooked, so they didn't call him and say, pick us up at whatever, pick us up at Tesco's. Didn't call him. The cab station didn't tell him, oh look, there's somebody at Tesco's going to pick him up. He was just moving around, stopped, taxi, and 2 people got in. Unfortunately for him, or fortunately for us, they were council license officers. Oops. Right. He appeared at court on Wednesday, August the 16th, so that's this year, where he was found guilty. Now, he was caught in the act on August the 28th last year. So 2016, August the 28th, the bank holiday, he was driving around. And what did he? He picked outside a pub in Guildford 2 council officers who were checking if licensed taxis were operating. Okay, and we all know the issues of some cabbies, not all of them, some unlicensed cabbies picking up people from pubs, alcohol, intoxicated, incapacitated, and certain activities happened. There you go. What happened to him? He was fined by Guildford Borough Council £1,500, has a conviction, and he was fined a further £250 and ordered to pay a £30 victim surcharge. Okay. What about unlicensed medication? So what's the problem with unlicensed medication? Okay, we understand medication. There we go. We understand counterfeit medication. Instead of the thing to help you with your cancer or your headache, it's just aspirin and paracetamol. We know about those counterfeit. We're talking about the word unlicensed. Remember, we said license is permission. So it's not that the thing is illegal, but the permission. So unlicensed medication, and there's a thing called off-label. We all understand label. The label is the make, the brand, etc. Okay, designer clothes have got labels. All right. So unlicensed medication versus off-label. Now, gov.uk, April 2009. A licensed medicine meets acceptable standards. So remember, do you remember ages ago there was oh, it's still around, skin whitening, skin lightening cream, and there was this product in there, this chemical that now has to be less than 3% because it was burning people's skin, it was discoloring their skin, it was doing all sorts of things. The license is where there could be some restrictions. We don't want an X amount of this cocodamol in our products. We don't want an X amount of food colorings, additives in our food. So a license means it's meeting that standard, especially for safety and quality, okay? And the manufacturer is aware of it and he puts it on the label, it meets a certain standard, and that's it. The unlicensed medicine, which is very interesting, it is not meeting the terms of what the medical board say. So it's a medicine, all right, but the quantity of a certain product, a certain chemical, doesn't comply with what the medical board have decided. Now, the thing with unlicensed medicine, healthcare professionals, get the word, professionals, not you're a student or you're a trainee nurse or you're a doctor in whatever, but you haven't fully qualified. Healthcare professionals may regard it necessary to prescribe unlicensed medicine or advise the use of unlicensed medicine. Right. What sort of things can this be for? Let's say you have cancer, you have HIV, you have AIDS. There are some products that we know exist. They're not licensed, so therefore they're not on the National Health Service. They're not on your private doctor's list. But you know, in some certain countries where there's Ebola, where there's epidemics, pandemics, there's all sorts of things going on. These unlicensed medicines can be used, okay? The person who says to use it, so we said a healthcare professional, has to make sure they're satisfied there isn't anything else that can be used to meet the patient's need. They are satisfied that they will get a better result with this unlicensed one than a licensed alternative. They have to monitor the progress, the activity, the change, for better or for worse, whilst the person, the patient, is using this medicine, okay, or this medication, okay. And when they're monitoring it, they have to write down what they see, the differences, the improvements, etc. Best practice, they tell the patient, this is unlicensed, okay? They tell the patient the information, as in, I'm expecting these results if you use these unlicensed. We've tried the license, you didn't get results that were desired, let's try the unlicensed. They give them every piece of information before they commence using or recommending. Remember, it's always recommendation, it's your body, this medicine. International business times, we're talking about unlicensed medicine. So every country that you travel to, listen, we need to be careful. For example, there's a situation right now where there's a lady in, I think she might be in America. She went to see her husband. I'll get the details later, I might have it here. She took medicine from UK for this man's back pain. When she got there, she was arrested. What's happened? The quantity of the medicine is not lawful in that country. I think I've got the story, I'll read it later, okay? She's been arrested. Why has she been arrested? It's a controlled substance. Not only is it a controlled substance, the quantity is higher than their medical board allows anyone to give without being a healthcare professional. So here we have some medication that is only on prescription from the doctor. You can't go in the chemist and get it, but you can get an alternative that is similar. This lady gave, or was going to give someone something that she doesn't have a license to give. You see the thin line? Do not take anything more than aspirin or paracetamol. The worst thing was the lady was taking this medication. It came from a doctor. It was on prescription. It was taken from a chemist. It was not in her name. So check this. Your brother is taking some medication for a back pain. You suddenly get a back pain. You're not supposed to take his medicine and start using it, let alone take it to the airport, UK border, take it to another person's border with somebody else's name on it, not prescribed to you, a controlled substance. Well, there you go. We live and we learn. Right. International Business Times, 1st of November 2017. So when there's always alternatives, there's always money involved. Doctors in the northeast of England could be facing legal action from two of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. So a doctor writes a prescription, gives it to his patient goes to the pharmacy or the chemist and gets the medication. Doctors in the northeast of England, what's the problem? There's an eye condition that has a particular drug that you go to the chemist and you pay is it £8 or whatever? £8, whatever. Doctors in northeast of England are recommending a cheaper drug. Oops. So the drug is the one generally, Avastin, Avastin, and then it's got the long name. Okay. It could save, check this out, this alternative could save the National Health Service up to 13.5 million pounds. There's a drug out there for this eye condition, a serious eye condition, that could save the National Health Service, make them spend less, 13.5 million pounds over the next 5 years. And in 1 year, this medication, if it was licensed or whatever, could save the National Health Service 500 million pounds a year. It's not rocket science. You're going to save the National Health Service some money. Why is it not licensed? The eye condition is known as wet age-related macular degeneration. Okay, there you go. There you go. 500 million could save the National Health, but it's not licensed. So, what's the two big pharmaceutical companies? Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R, and Novartis. They argue that using unlicensed medicine, which could save National Health Service 500 million pounds a year, undermines regulatory frameworks. So there's a set of rules that says this medication, we're not going to license it, but it's not illegal. All right, there you go, money. What about Africa? AfricaNews.com, 29th of May 2017. The Democratic Republic of Congo National Regulatory Authority and Ethics Review Board has formally, this is May 2017, formally given the green light for possible use of an unlicensed Ebola vaccination. So let me see if I understand. Ebola, we all know Ebola. Yeah? We all know Ebola. If you have Ebola, it's very rare that you survive. Very rare. Okay? The Democratic Republic of Congo have said, you know this drug that is not licensed, please start using it as a vaccination, preventative. Start using it as a vaccination. Now, I'm sorry, if I'm in a zone and it's got Ebola and you say to me, this is a vaccine to help you not get Ebola, but it's not licensed, of course I'm going to say yes. I've got nothing to lose. So they have decided it 29th of May 2017. This is the latest reports from the World Health Organization. There were a total of 2 confirmed cases, 4 probable deaths, and 16 suspected cases. Okay. You have got nothing to lose. It's a vaccine. You have nothing to lose. Don't take chances with your life. Ebola? The vaccine, what's it called? So well done, Democratic Republic of Congo. The vaccine is known as, here we go, RVSV ZEBOV. It was on a trial in Guinea in 2015. 11,841 people. And this charity called Doctors Without Borders. So Doctors Without Borders support the idea. Access to the vaccine. So you know there's lots of vaccines that they say for certain cancers, they're not licensed. Pop down to one of the countries that they're happy to try it out. What have you got to lose? Okay, the Telegraph, 26th of June 2017. Isabella Lafati is a bright and articulate 37-year-old chartered accountant. Yet 5 years ago, so 2017, so 2012, she found herself being talked into paying thousands of pounds for unproven, so there's no history, there's no actual scientific say that it works, unproven fertility treatments. So fertility treatment, what we're talking about, IVF, okay? It's been offered to people. You're vulnerable, yes. You're desperate, yes. And you'll do anything to get it. She lives in London. She was so emotionally involved, she simply didn't care what it cost. Of course, it's your emotions. You're trying to have a kid. The fertility doctors recommended this treatment. It is charging up to 40% over the cost for private treatment. Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. The success of it has no scientific backing. Okay. When it doesn't have scientific backing, what it means is it doesn't have enough years of information to tell you this will work. It's like years ago when they did hip replacements. They didn't have people who were doing hip replacements. So they'll say to you, oh, it lasts 10 years. You'll be 20, 30 years with the thing. Because back then when they did it, they didn't have all that proof. So this lady spent over £50,000. 5 cycles of IVF, and a large percentage of this paid for add-ons. So there were other things that are add-ons. So it's not just you go swap an egg and whatever. Let's have a look at what the add-ons are. So we're talking about IVF UK. This alternative option. Embryo glue. So obviously you understand glue, yeah? It increases the adhesion or sticking of embryos to the uterus. Because that's the problem. The embryo is in the uterus and what did it do? Fall away. Oops. So this thing, embryo glue, cost up to £160. Then there was infusions, intralipid infusions, up to £250. And it's a sterile fat, okay, fat emulsion containing soy oil, chicken egg yolk, and it's designed to combat the toxic white blood cells, which are bad for embryos. Interesting. Then there's assisted hatching. We know eggs hatch and little chicks come out. Okay, assisted hatching, which is up to £450. So these are add-ons, all that enhance this success. And what does it do? It creates a small hole in the wall to help it break or hatch from its outer layer. Oh my gosh. Then there's blastocyst culture. That's up to £800. What it is delaying transfer of embryos from a laboratory to the uterus in the hope that they will be healthier. So the process is they get the embryo and they put it where it's supposed to be, in the uterus. You have to pay for them to nurture it a bit more and then put it in. Whoa. Okay. And then there's pre-implantation genetic screening. Okay, we understand screening, yeah? That is £3,500. And what they do is they look at embryos, the ones that are have abnormalities, okay, they stop them from developing further. So that's a lot of money. But you're looking for a child, you're looking to increase your family, to enhance your family. There you go. That's unlicensed stuff. Okay, it's all available. It's not illegal. It's just not licensed. Right. What about people that are unlicensed medics? Here we go. General Medical Council, UK.org. The license to practice. The license to practice. You've got your medical degree somewhere, anywhere, even in the UK. But to practice it as a doctor, as whatever you want to be, you need a license. If you are a doctor and want to practice medicine in the UK, you will need to hold registration with a license to practice. Okay? This license gives doctors legal rights and privileges in the UK. So when you have a license in UK, no, you can't take it abroad and start using it. No, you have to respect the laws there. So this is only in the UK. So what privileges? Like writing prescriptions, okay? It doesn't apply in every other country in the world, because it can't. Okay. So if you're holding this registration, you can practice, and you need to revalidate it usually every 5 years. So what's revalidate? So you got this license, you practice 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and 5th year you need to, it's not renewing it, it's just confirming that you're still at the same not level, but you're still able to practice the medicine that you said you were. So it's an evaluation. It's an evaluation of the workplace where they participate in. It's a thing that's done, because every year they should have appraisals, which is checking that they're still up to scratch. Not your eyesight is going and you're a surgeon. No, okay? The appraisal must be based on core guidance for doctors. So that happens every 5 years. Let's move to something else. Unlicensed gambling. We're talking all things unlicensed. So unlicensed means you haven't the permission to use, to make, produce, participate. Unlicensed gambling. Parentzone.org.uk. What's the problem with gambling? You're an adult, get on with it. It's your business. Unlicensed gambling on parentzone.org. Online gambling through in-app games. So you download a game, and in the game pops up all these adverts. Do you want to play this? Do you want to download this? Can I interest you in this? Oh yeah. Well, what's happening? Teenagers and young people, this is what's happening to teenagers and young people. In April 2016, so last year, 2016 April, Omer Abbas, an 18-year-old from Cardiff, took his own life after gambling £5,000. An 18-year-old gambled £5,000 online on an online betting site. At the inquest into the teenagers, we said 18 years old, into the teenager's death in June, the coroner raised concern over the ease with which young people can access online gambling. Right, there's a thing called skins. Skins are in-game add-ons. So you're playing a game and you've got 5 lives and you die. We use all the 5 lives. It says, do you want to buy some more? So add-ons. There's a game you're playing and you need a particular weapon to beat this level, all the monsters and all the level things that you have to go through. You add something like a special piece of armor, or you add a special power to yourself so that you can win this level, you can beat this level. They're called add-ons. You buy them during the game. So it can be a character, so I can be a warrior now, I can be a ninja next, okay, they're characters, they're weapons and accessories. What's the problem? The value of them. So let's you're playing a game and it's called Ninja Turtles. So obviously, you're going to be a turtle. Then you want to be a ninja turtle, you need to buy something, a weapon or a power. That's where they're expensive. You've got a free game, but you buy things in the game, okay? When you buy things in the game, you're now spending money. It's not free anymore. Young people are paying these games. The value can sometimes run to hundreds. So you've got a kid playing a game, he wants a particular power, hundreds or even thousands of pounds. Who in their right mind is going to play a free game and spend £1,000 just to beat this level? Young people. That's who it is. Young adults going to do it. They want to they would like the challenge and they want to do it. So where are they getting £1,000 from? Where are they even getting £100 from? Okay? Because the thing currency. Once you're spending to have it and have the use and the access of it, it's a currency. And what do? The players collect these things and they trade them. So they begin to buy and sell. I've bought something for £100. You now need it to get to the next level. Give me £200. I've now used it for £200. I'm going to sell it to the next one for £300. Do you see what's going on? Okay. When you are buying and selling in this game, it's like being at the casino. You've got the chips with the different values and you're just swapping. You're not using cash because you now have got to find from somewhere £200 for pay for this thing. Okay? Signs that your kid or your child, may have a problem with gambling. They're using online games. You know the games are free. You downloaded them, but you didn't check. When you're downloading a game, it says you need access to photos and images and your speakers, and you say, okay, no problem. When you're downloading a game, there's always a little pop-up that says there are purchases. You put okay, that's your business, because your credit card, your debit card is linked to your Google Play account, and every time they say, yeah, I want that thing for 200, guess whose card it's going on, mum and dad? There you go. Your child starts borrowing large amounts of money. Gambling. You notice money is missing around the home. The gambling. They got more money than they can explain or that you can explain they should be holding. They're not interested in the typical family activities and leisure activities. It's always the video games, the video games, the video games. What are they doing? Advice. Set a good example. If you do not want your children to gamble, don't do so yourself. So that means, mum, no bingo. Oops. That means, dad, no playing cards, blackjack and all the rest of it online. Okay? Find out as much as you can about the games they're playing and what can be purchased and what needs money to continue playing it to get to certain levels. And talk to your child about the dangers of online gambling. The next quick subject is landlords. Most of us don't have mortgages and we're paying rent. So what type of landlords can we have? You can live in a property, they're not your family. There are many rooms, different people. It's called HMO, multiple occupancy. The thing is with these type of properties where everybody's got their room and you share a kitchen and a bathroom, unfortunate if you've got a living room, and a garden of course, they may not be licensed landlords. What does that mean? England.shelter.org.uk. Your landlord usually has extra legal responsibilities. Okay? Now, the landlords must make sure there's proper fire safety measures. So smoke alarms, annual gas safety checks are carried out, electrics are checked every 5 years. The property is not overcrowded. There's enough cooking and bathroom facilities for the number living there. Okay, so things like that. They are also responsible for repairs. The structure. So internal and external of the house. The stair carpet has to be in order. If not, you slip and you break your neck. Okay? The window frames have to be in order. Otherwise, the heating's all going out the window. Okay? So stuff like that they're meant to take care of. They can be fined if somebody has people who are not related in a property collecting individually from each room or each person. It can be if you live in an unlicensed multiple occupancy, your landlord can be fined. And what's the fine? He repays you, the tenant, up to 12 months rent. Yeah, you heard it. All right. Sunday Times, 22nd November 2017. Two brothers, both doctors, are joint owners of a London house where 35 men were found sleeping on mattresses. A London house. Didn't say a hostel, didn't say a bed and breakfast, didn't say a hotel. A London house had 35 men sleeping on mattresses after a raid by police and council officials. So the two brothers, both doctors who own the property, owned the property, with their mother as well, owned the property, were threatened legal action against Brent Council for referring to him as a road landlord. Okay, so a minute. So the police and the council go to a property, find 35 grown men, 35, in one property, sleeping on mattresses, not beds. Mattresses, not beds. And the two brothers and their mother turn and take legal action against Brent Council for referring to them as rogue landlords. Okay. 3-bedroom house in Brent. 3-bedroom house in Brent. So let's say maximum you can get 2 bunk beds in the room. So 2 bunk beds is 4 people. 3 times 4 is 12 people. There were 35 men living in the house. And you're complaining that you're called a rogue landlord. Right. Unlicensed music. What about unlicensed music events? So what's all these things? kentonline.co.uk, 20th of October 2017. 3 men have been charged after hundreds of partygoers descended on an industrial unit for an illegal rave. We know that the laws on squatting has changed. You can't take somebody's house now and saying you're living there. You can't just occupy somebody's house. It's against the law. But you can occupy disused, so unoccupied, inactive activities, commercial properties. Oh, so what happened? This was in Swanley, unlicensed music event, 500 people. And what happened? After they had the party, they left the building trashed. Another incident, Daily Mail, 9th of May 2017, this year, hundreds of partygoers crammed into a primary school. Primary school, yeah? They had an all-night rave in the residential area of northwest London. The police descended on the normally quiet street. Can you imagine hundreds of people in a primary school in a residential area having a rave? Okay, the police descended. It was in Stanmore, okay, because there were reports of loud music coming from a disused building. They said they entered the unlicensed event to prevent serious disorder and disruption on the streets. The party started 5 p.m. in the evening for 12 hours. So residential area, unoccupied school because they've moved to a new place and there was a rave in it. Unlicensed versus licensed. Thank you for tuning in to Well Chat UK on My Sweet FM Community Radio. Until next time, have a lovely afternoon.
5-4.
My Sweet Pea Entertainment proudly presents Afro Funky Night, Saturday, November 18, 2017, from 10 p.m. till early in the a.m. at the Elmhurst Bar, 131 Lordship Lane. Hey ladies, you get in free before midnight. Come party down with DJ Murphy, DJ AK, and DJ Mind D Gap. Hosting this bash is none other than MC Cole. Afro Funky Night. Admission is just $5 per person. Tickets are available at shoobs.com and eventbrite.co.uk. My Sweet Pea Entertainment proudly presents Afro Funky Night, Saturday, November 18, 2017, from 10 p.m. till early in the a.m. at the Elmhurst Bar, 131 Lordship Lane. Hey ladies, you get in free before midnight. Come party down with DJ Murphy, DJ AK, and DJ Mind D Gap. Hosting this bash is none other than MC Cole. Afro Funky Night. Admission is just $5 per